This episode of the Red Bull Rant is brought to you by the fine patrons that support us through patreon.com/Red Bull Rant. You can support us for the low price of $1 a month, and you can get exclusive content, including a monthly wrap-up for the New York Red Bulls. We want to send a special shout-out to our patrons who support us at $5 a month. That is our producer-level reward. Thank you to Jeremiah Dempster, Clayton John, Chris Adamek, Maeve Dartinez, and Pierre Delecto. Now, on to the show.
The Red Bull Rant is a free-flowing podcast with three soccer-loving idiots who don't know when to shut their dumb potty mouths. So listener discretion, yeah, it's pretty much advised.
From the Bayshore, New Jersey to the shores of the Merrimack River in Massachusetts, this is the Red Bull Rant Podcast. I'm your host, Pat McDonald.
And I'm Truman, and this is episode 414, Return of the Forgotten Son.
Yes.
Damn
him! Yes, that's right. If you're not sure about what that title might be referring to, well, and you didn't watch last week's game against the Columbus Crew. Yes, the Red Bulls came away with a 2-1 loss despite leading well into late in the match. Quite a disappointing result for sure. But before we get into it, let's go to your tweets.
Oh boy, they're all super positive.
Oh, of course.
I mean, it's funny. Our friend Anthony really just put up the shrug emoji and then the facepalm emoji, which honestly says it all. That says it all. Our friend Eddie Pierre Delecto said, "You ever just ask God, was it truly worth it to the rest of the league from saving the Crew? And each time that is asked, God responds with an inconceivably depressing draw or loss in the second half." Amen. Creepy Taxi Steven Santos said, "What a shock again that's so Metro and a former Metro / Red Bull Etienne scores to win against us. It's like history just keeps repeating over and over and over. We suck." And then at John MCC 215, Run John Run, who I don't think has ever tweeted us before, so you know people are pissed, said, "Hoping to start a sell the club chant during Sunday's match."
I'm in.
Hey, it might be coming sooner than you thought, right?
Yeah, one can hope, right? So, all right. Well, thank you as always for your tweets. So, Truman, let's get right into it. What did you dislike about this match?
Holy fuck. Let's just talk about the last 3 minutes of the game, because that's all you really need to know. Let's talking about subbing in Tom Barlow, which I didn't like at all, instead of maybe just another midfield or defensive player, because this team loves to give up goals towards the end of games, and the fact that they just did not put extra guys in the back and defends against everything and the first Etienne goal sucked. The second one, he just ran through right past everybody, literally right past everyone, and fucking scored off the rebound. That shit shouldn't happen. And again, just fucking embarrassing result. It should never happen. You again had a lead in this game, late in the game, on the road, and this is what you did with the absolutely fucking blow. And it's just a piss poor result.
Yeah, I think my big dislike is this team fucking blows, and if you think that making the playoffs is an achievement just to get your brains beat in and not win MLS Cup, you're fucking stupid. There you go. I'll put a nice bow on my opinion for the fucking year of this team. So, yes, embarrassing loss all around. To have it done by a former player, even worse. Especially one that we saw for his entire time here, just kick the ball directly at the opposing keeper as opposed to actually in the back of the net. It's not how you. Yeah.
The worst part was too, he comes into the game and he missed a couple really good chances, one really great scoring chance. And, I just thought, this is the Derek Etienne we know. This is the guy that was given chance after chance and would just miss these easy shots. And then what fucking happens? Boom. 2 goals in 4 minutes.
Yeah. Well, I believe at our home game against Columbus, there was a point where Etienne had a breakaway and he kicked it right at Coronel. I mean, it was like, it's what we know of him. But now he finally got his pound of flesh. All right. So what did you like about this one?
I mean, Frankie Amaya had a nice goal, I guess. I think that was his first goal of the season. There you go. That was fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess.
Defensive play for 88 minutes.
The 2 matches are all that matter, man.
Yeah.
I'll give you a nice goal by Frankie. Afterthoughts. Any afterthoughts on this one?
I mean, what can be said that we didn't already say? This is just a fucking terrible, terrible result for the Red Bulls. You had, you could add a better spot in the playoffs. I don't know, defensive substitutions at the end, and you let this game get away. You really do. I'm honestly not going to get mad that they only scored 1 goal. I'm not going to get mad at that. You're on the road, Columbus, team fighting to get into the playoffs. They had everything on the line. We didn't. We just had playoff positioning to worry about. It's that you had that 1 goal and you just let it go, man. And that's the worst part. And you let it go in, like Steven Santos said, a That's So Metro fashion. Again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess my only afterthought is that maybe if you want to look on a fully rose-petaled glasses looking at this thing, it's we've been kind of shit at home this year, so maybe we don't want a home game. Maybe we want a road playoff game and make our way to the MLS Cup in that fashion. All right, so prediction standings. Jay, he does the math, not us, so no idea where we're at in that.
He is up by 3 points on me going into 1 game. I know that's where we're sitting right now.
And I think because I predicted a loss, as I always do, I think I picked up some minor ground that I can't make up anyway. All right, so that brings us to our next game, the preview against Charlotte. This is a home match at Red Bull Arena. It'll be this Sunday on Decision Day, October 9th, 2:30 p.m. It'll be on MSG and ESPN+. Charlotte is 13-17-3 with 42 points, -6 goal differential, 9th in the East. I believe they just got knocked out of the playoffs in a midweek match. So, Truman, what do you predict for this one?
Well, I mean, what the Red Bulls are playing for is a home game.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much what it is. It's a win and they host a game, which, like you said, do we even want that to happen? Yeah. I don't know. Jay's predicting a win, so I can't predict a win because I need to tie him, and then I don't know what the fuck happens. I guess we take a playoff game to go for the tiebreaker. So I'm just gonna say 1-1 draw because that's the only way I can even have a chance of not having to send Jay the belt, which I really don't want to do. Maybe I'll send him a fake one. I'll send him a fakey belt. He'll never know. I'll keep the real one. He'll get like a fakey belt. It's fine.
Yeah. I mean, this is a team that has nothing to play for, coming to Red Bull Arena at this point. So you would have to assume that, they might be checked out, but that also could want to get that last win before their second year in the league, their second campaign, have some momentum going into next season. I don't know. I do see this as being a general. It should be a Red Bull win, but my rule for the season, and I'm going to say right now, if I get this score directly right, then I get the belt. 6-0 loss.
Woo! Listen, I'll accept it. I'll accept that 100%.
All right. Well, that brings us to Red Bull 2. They have one more game left in the season of a miserable one. They are currently 3. Or actually, no, I don't think I updated that. But their last match was a 5-1 loss against Phoenix Rising with a red card in that match. So lovely.
Yeah, I think we've now changed their name to Red Card FC.
Yeah, Red Card Bowl. Yeah, Red Card FC. Yeah, Red Card FC rolls better off the tongue.
Red Card FC.
Yeah. So their next match is at Memphis 901 on October 9th at 4 p.m. So, with a half hour left in the main team's game. So, yeah, who's going to be watching that? Gotham FC wrapped up their season in 12th place in the league with a 4-1-17 record. And that one draw came this past weekend against the Portland Thorns. It was a 3-3 draw. All right, well, that brings us to our dumping ground. First up, MLS announced their Leagues Cup format, which Jay put in our little chat.
Are you ready? I can read it to you because I have it right here.
You shall read it then, sir.
So here we go. Tournament runs from July 21st to August 19th. MLS and Liga MX will pause their respective league seasons. No MLS or Liga MX regular season matches will be played during Leagues Cup. Format is an official CONCACAF competition. All teams in those leagues will participate. World Cup style tournament, group stage followed by knockout rounds. 4 regions, East, West, South, Central. Okay, no ties. Each team receives 1 point if the game is tied after 90 minutes. The winner of the subsequent penalty shootout will earn an additional point. Regulation wins count as 3 points. So I guess if you win the shootout, you get 2 points.
Ooh, hockey rules.
Yeah. 77 games hosted at MLS stadiums throughout the U.S. and Canada. Liga MX and Liga MX matches will be played at MLS venues depending on region. I'm going to read just let's just go through this nonsense. Let's see. 2022 MLS Cup champion skips the group stage and starts at round of 32. That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Of the 2 Liga MX recent champions in Clausura 2022 and Apertura 2022, the club with the most combined points accumulated across both tournaments in the calendar year will skip the group stage as well. So obviously best team there, they will skip. Each club will play a minimum of 2 matches in a group stage. Top 2 teams from each group will advance. It's fucking World Cup, like that said. Tiebreakers of full competition guidelines, popular to upcoming months, super duper. MLS clubs ranked 2 to 16 based on supporter shield finish are seeded first in each group. Same kind of thing with Liga MX. Remaining 13 MLS clubs, along with 2 remaining Liga MX clubs, will be drawn into groups and divided geographically. And then they just kind of talk about knockout rounds. Do I have to fucking explain how the knockouts round? If I do, just look up what the World Cup's like. That's what it is. 3rd place match winner qualifies for CONCACAF Champions League. Both clubs in the League Cup final qualify for CONCACAF Champions League. League Cup 2023 champion qualifies directly to CONCACAF Champions League round of 16. It will be on Apple TV. The end. There you go.
There you go.
So,
right.
What do you think?
I don't mind it. I mean, Liga MX is the most watched league in the United States. So it can theoretically only help MLS to have more games against Liga MX teams and to even take a pause in your league schedule to face Liga MX teams. It just, to me, it makes sense. I mean, don't get me wrong. I do feel like the stagnation and growth of viewership of MLS is probably has less to do with where they compare to Liga MX and more to do with just general poor growth strategies, whether it come to how they run league salary structure and just general lack of ambition. I think they're waiting for audiences to crop up before they invest, when in fact you need to invest to get an audience. So, but I generally think it's a good idea. I mean, who knows? It might fail. It may fail flat on its face. I mean, we can only see. We'll only find out next year. But I find it interesting. I think getting a few tickets to see Cruz Azul show up at Red Bull Arena, I think that could be fun.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun cash grab.
Mm-hmm. It's definitely a cash grab. Yeah.
I mean, I'm okay with it. Like you said, if we get some cool matchups that you normally wouldn't see at Red Bull Arena, at all the different MLS stadiums, I'm guessing they're going to use them all. I don't know exactly how it's going to work out, but there's no reason why not to. You're going to bring in a ton of fans that go to these stadiums that normally wouldn't. That's usually the scheme on these, and hopefully they attract people to come back for that MLS team.
Right.
So that usually doesn't work, but fuck it. I'm willing to give them another shot.
Yeah, why not?
A 2-week break. I'm fine with that. And I don't know. I mean, it should be fun. It's going to be a lot of fucking games cramped into 2 weeks, though. That's the only tough part.
Yeah.
It's going to be very, very cramped. I I wonder what the rosters will look like for something like that too.
Yeah, maybe just increase the budget and make it a salary cap league instead of, all these crazy rules. Imagine that idea.
Yeah.
All right. Now, then that brings us to our British team update.
Oh,
that's right.
Yeah.
All right. Do you have your update ready, or?
I do. I'm going to give you 2 seconds just so I bring up the page here. But what I will tell you is that my boys in Swindon Supermarine got the absolute shit kicked out of them in their FA Cup qualifier, 5-1 to Farnborough at home. They went down 2-0 before Farnborough was issued a red card, and they still scored 3 more goals after that. I think the icing on the cake was they were down 4-0. They scored, and Farnborough immediately scored right after Swindon did to really just rub salt in the wound. There was some bad goalkeeping in this one. I think it was the second goal just was obviously these guys are not $1 million professionals.
Mm-hmm.
But just it was it was a nice free kick, but I don't even know what the goalie was doing in a bad position. It was rough. It was a rough game. But hey, you got to bounce back. They're knocked out of the FA Cup now, and now you just got to focus on the league. It's what you got to do. Focus up on the league, and get rolling. They're in the Southern Premier Division South. That's all to play for now.
That's true. Well, here's the thing: they have to go up against my team, which is Western Supermare. So Western Supermare AFC. They did not play in the Northern Premier League South this past weekend, but they did have FA Trophy or FA Cup third qualifying round game.
Yep.
And which they beat Helston Athletic at a quite commanding 7-2. I think Western Supermare is looking at promotion here with results like that. Maybe they even, maybe they make it on television the way they're playing on the FA Cup. We'll see. But, quite the match there for Western Supermare. Unfortunately, Jay not being here, we do not have any updates on Ghostport BFC.
If you want to know quickly the standings, just so you know, Western Supermare is currently sitting in second place in a playoff spot.
There you go.
Because they have played one less game than Truro City. Mm-hmm. And they only trail by a point. And my boys in Swindon are in sixth place, just one spot out of a playoff. Obviously, it's early. There's only 9 to 10 games played with each of these teams, so pretty early on. So I expect more out of my boys. Just saying.
There you go. All right. Anything else for Dumping Ground?
Oh, well, we got a couple more things, right? Congratulations to DC United.
Oh, yes.
For getting the wooden spoon. Good on them. Fantastic. Well deserved.
They've been a lot of terrible recently.
Yeah. Remember when they brought back Wayne Rooney?
Did they? I don't remember.
Yeah, that was funny. That went great.
Yeah, sure did.
He definitely did the old I regret this decision immediately. And I'm going to mention one more thing real quick.
Okay.
Because anyone who follows me on Twitter might have seen it. I went off on a bit of a tangent that I have gone on a million times over and over again. We all have. And that is the NYCFC will most likely be hosting their first round playoff game at Red Bull Arena.
What else is new?
Yeah, because obviously the Yankees are more than likely going to be busy. There's a good chance that the Mets will be busy. Those are not available. So the only reason they would not play at Red Bull Arena is if they played the Red Bulls. And then they would have to find another location for that game. So it just proves yet again that I don't care if you won the championship last year. That team is a joke when it comes to ownership. Yet again, they had no plan to build a soccer-specific stadium. Aside from every other club that is told you have to have a stadium in place. You have to. It's part of the thing. You have to finance. You have all this stuff set up, a plan, and they still have nothing. There's just thoughts in their little heads. They have no solid plan. There is one team currently playing. That's Charlotte. That's playing at the Panthers Stadium. And that's because it's their first year.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they have a plan in place. And I mean, right now they're packing that place, which is awesome. But everyone else either has moved into a new stadium or, like Miami, renovated that field. I think, what was that, Fort Lauderdale's field?
Yeah, but I think that's not their permanent home. They still are going to. Yeah.
Right. They renovated that, made that a really nice soccer-specific temporary home before they build their new stadium. And even if that takes longer than expected, they are still playing in a really nice renovated soccer-specific stadium.
Mm-hmm.
And again, you can give us all the excuses. Listen, we all know how hard it is to build in the city. Ask the Jets. They definitely tried. But anyone knows that this is becoming a pipe dream at this point.
It's not fucking happening. It's not happening. The Jets couldn't get it done. Local residents are pissed off at what the Yankees and the Mets did with their new stadiums. Like their promises fell through. So there's no residents that are gonna agree to be like, yes, we want this NYCFC stadium. Not fucking happening. And I know that was the whole point, was to put a team in the 5 boroughs because New Yorkers are afraid to take a train ride to New Jersey for whatever fucking reason.
Yeah.
It's so hard. We've been doing it our whole lives. It's not that difficult. I mean, just give it up. Build the stadium in Westchester and Long Island. It's the only 2 places it's happening. It is not happening in the 5 boroughs. It will never happen unless somehow we get Premier League money in this league, which I don't see happening. So good luck with that.
Yeah, I think it's funny that they complain about how long it takes to get to Red Bull Arena, or God forbid, they have to maybe build a stadium in like Yonkers, when I would fucking leave Easton, Pennsylvania, drive to your house, and then drive to Red Bull Arena and get there. And it was usually not a problem. Mm-hmm. We still made it because for some insane reason, we still love this team, and we don't even know why anymore.
Yeah, it's really
they've given us no reason to love them back.
It's an abusive relationship at this point. It
really is. We buy the jerseys, we buy tickets.
It's like I've been complaining
podcasts.
I've been complaining all season about this team. Do I have season tickets next year? Yes, I do. I gave them more money.
Boy, I can't wait to see what the next jersey looks like. And if it's cool, I'm going to fucking buy it. And I'm probably going to get the player's name on it that's not going to last a year. Because that's what I do too. I'm going to get some player that I'm all pumped up about, and he's going to totally just fucking not play well and disappear. Because that's just how I roll.
Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, it's a fucking slap in the face to this league.
Oh yeah.
And this is nothing against NYCFC fans. You guys obviously have no control over this, but the fact is that Don Garber fucking lied just to get a team in the city. Mm-hmm. And that's it. It's fucking plain and simple. And he got the money wherever he can get the fucking money. He did not give a shit. He just wanted a team there. And now their fans are saying year in and year out that the chance of having a place in that city is fucking evaporating. Yeah. And I'm kind of with you. It's not going to happen.
It's not happening. There's no way. Again, if the Jets could not get their stadium built, there is no way a soccer team in Major League Soccer is getting a 5-borough stadium built.
No.
It's just not happening.
Not with the size you would need it to be. You need probably a 20,000 seat stadium, if I was to guess. Yeah. For a New York team, 20,000 seats, I think is being modest. Where the fuck are you going to put that?
I don't know.
There's nowhere to go. There's nowhere to go.
Did the Staten Island Yankees fold? Maybe is that land available?
No, that is they are the Ferry Hawks now.
Ah, okay.
Yes, so that stadium is being used by the Ferry Hawks. I think they're playing in the Atlantic League. I think they're an Atlantic League team now.
Okay. Oh, so they replaced the Patriots, I presume.
Yeah.
The Atlantic League. Yeah.
Correct.
Okay.
Hey, did we congratulate the Somerset Patriots for winning the Eastern League?
We have not.
Yeah, shout out. I'm sure a lot of you guys are Somerset Patriots fans. So I will shout them out because that's pretty awesome that they won the Eastern League in their second year in the league. Helps when you're the New York Yankees AA team, of course.
Yeah, they kind of have some talent there.
Yeah.
I've been trying to convince, my fiance my wife and like her sister's a big Yankee fan, and a couple of their friends are big Yankee fans. Like, yeah, we should go to a Somerset Patriots game. We'll see future stars. And they're like, why don't we see the real Yankees? I'm like, oh, they're expensive.
Yes.
It's easier to drive up 287. Way easier to drive up 287 than go all the way to the Bronx.
You're goddamn right.
Yeah.
Hey, but before we close it out, I mean, the playoffs start tomorrow. What are your thoughts on your New York Yankees?
I don't know. Baseball. It's like a sport, man.
I like it. Good breakdown.
As you can see, I've watched a lot of baseball this year.
I mean, you weren't watching Aaron Judge night in, night out?
You know what? I think I did. And then there was that long, here's the thing. What I would do is I would put on in my laptop, and when I would notice he was batting, I would put on the volume of the laptop, pause whatever I was watching, and watch the at-bat. And I did miss both 61 and 62. So I think I saw like all the ones up to that. And then like he went in his little slump, and I was like, all right, I think I'm just jinxing the guy. So I stopped.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm just pumped the Mets are back in the playoffs. So
yeah,
they completely choked the division away. All they had to do was win one game in Atlanta.
Did they? I mean, they won 100 games.
They won 101 games.
Yeah.
And the Atlanta Braves are a great baseball team. And they were in the one division where Dodgers are awesome. Yeah. Where it was extremely competitive until literally the last weekend.
Yeah. If you won 101 games, you didn't choke. I'm sorry. You just didn't choke.
If they didn't get swept by the Cubs at home, or you win one game against the Braves, they are the NL East champions. But listen, they won 77 games last year, and now they won 101 games.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's hard to complain about that.
You got that Uncle Stevie money.
You know, I mean, things are turning up, right? Like the Jets and the Giants they're both 500 or over. We got two baseball teams in the playoffs. Hockey's coming up. We got two New York teams in the MLS playoffs. One we fucking hate, and we hate their dumb stadium. But hey, I mean, New York's looking up.
We shall see. I mean, I would still argue the Giants and Jets are probably at least a year off, each of them. But for now, at least it finally looks like an upward pathway of non-Gettleman stank for the Giants.
It's a month into the season, and none of us have had to give up yet. Because the past few years, a month into the season, you're like, holy fuck, I can't believe there's 10 more, 12 more games to go of this nonsense.
Now, to be fair, Jay gives up at least by the second quarter of every year.
He has. He quit against the Browns, which understandably so. I totally get it. They were down by a lot, down by 13 points. And he gave up in the last game, too, against the Steelers.
Yeah, in our group chat, Jay was like, this team sucks. We're fucking trash. Zach Wilson's never going to be anything. Saleh should be fired. What a fucking terrible team. Wow, that was a great win. And I'm like, wait, what? I was like, what just?
Oh, boy. Zach Wilson being outplayed by the rookie Steelers quarterback. I'm like, really? He just went 5 for 5 on that touchdown, that game-winning touchdown drive. I think he did okay for himself.
I was like, oh, the Jets must be getting their asses kicked. I'm like, wait, I'm sorry, what? Jets fans.
You can't blame him. He loves the Jets. I mean, that's how Jets fans live day in and day out. I know. One of my best friends is a diehard Jets fan, and I get the texts every weekend. So,
oh yeah,
it's not just Jay.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, this technically brings us to the betting corner. I don't know. Go play the lottery. There you go.
Hey, I'm going to be in Atlantic City this Saturday, so there you go. There's your gambling right there.
Yeah. Chew red. There you go. Unless that's black. I don't know. So that would bring us to Truman's Terrible Team of the Week.
I just want to go, terrible. Listen, Jay gave me a nominee, and I told him, listen, this is not your Terrible Team of the Week. It's my Terrible Team of the Week.
Yeah.
I say what goes in this segment, but Jay is right. So, listen, Philadelphia lost to Charlotte. 4-0. Hold on, give me 1 second. Oh, Rio scored all 4 goals for Charlotte.
Woo.
So, I mean, not only is that a kick in the balls, what happened was due to that loss, LAFC was able to win the Supporter Shield because of it.
Yes.
So, Philly, how does it feel to get your ass kicked finally when it mattered the most? Because that That is what happened when it mattered most. You got the shit kicked out of you, and now you lost the Supporter Shield and a possible home game, championship game. Supporter Shield really doesn't do much for you when it comes to that hosting that fucking game. But you did blow your shot there, buddy.
Yeah. Well done, Philly. Well done. All right, well, that brings us to the wrap-up. You can give us that money on patreon.com/rebelrant. Email us rebelrant@gmail.com. Phone number 973-348-5329. Facebook.com/rebelrant. Twitter @rebelrant. Jay is @DrStooge. Truman is @Truman. Subscribe to us via iTunes, Stitcher Radio, YouTube Music, YouTube, SoundCloud, and Spotify. Truman, last words before we get out of here.
Just get a fucking draw and you get a home playoff game, which you can then lose. Just do that. I mean, that's what we're expecting. But we'll cross that bridge in another week. Aside from that, I mean, make the fans that are going happy. I will be at a wedding in Princeton, so I'll actually be in the state. Hopefully that energizes them a little bit. So I'm not going to be selfish. Yeah, I'm not going to be selfish. I'm not going to be all about me and the belt. I would actually like to fucking see a New York Red Bulls win.
Yeah. All right, bring home that win or don't, so that way I don't have to worry about canceling plans to go to a home playoff game that you will lose. So, whatever. All right, for Jay, Truman, and myself, this has been episode 414 of the Rebel Rant. Thank you, as always, for tuning in, and go Rebels.
Peace out.
Lights.